Stephen Donnelly had held this planned media briefing this morning. It was supposed to clear up all this controversy, clear the air. In fact, the exact opposite has now happened, hasn't it?
That was right. This press event had been intended to try and clear the air about this issue of the non-registration of a Sandyford apartment with the RTB. Stephen Donnelly has always declared in all of his annual disclosures of the Oireachtas that he does own this property, all the way going back to his first election in 2011. At issue in that instance was the fact that he had registered it with the PRTB when he was letting it out in 2011. He had renewed that after its original expiry in 2015, and he thought, he says, that he had renewed it again in 2019 when the last registration had expired. It has only come to light, in fact, in the last couple of weeks, he says, that wasn't the case, that he only realised this when he had been taking account of his own affairs after the controversy surrounding similar issues for the former Minister Robert Troy. Stephen Donnelly says that has now been remedied, and that, he believed, was the end of the matter. But separate now arises another significant issue, which is the fact that Virgin Media News has established that on 4 separate instances Stephen Donnelly did lobby for changes to tax law, tabling amendments to finance bills in 2014, 15, 16 and 17, looking for changes to the treatment of so-called accidental landlords. Now, in all of those arguments, Stephen Donnelly said that he didn't believe it was fair that somebody who had bought an apartment, had become an accidental landlord, could no longer live in it because of family circumstances and therefore had to go renting out another property for their family, was still being penalised and having to pay a higher rate of tax for the income that they would receive on their original property if they went and let it out. He didn't believe that was fair, and he believed that therefore it should have been changed. What is at issue is that in none of those instances did Stephen Donnelly orally declare, nor was it clear from his annual disclosure, that in fact he was an accidental landlord and that he stood to benefit to the tune of thousands of euro each year from the very changes that he was proposing in Dáil Éireann. We put that to the Minister when he spoke to us in Dublin Castle today.
It would have applied right across the board, but I heard the similar arguments made around should people declare whenever. I mean, we all use the healthcare system, so should we declare that we are beneficial recipients of the healthcare system? We all pay tax. Many of us, I've lobbied for increases in child benefit and many other things. So I think there is an interesting question to be asked, which is, should one declare any potential benefit from any policy? But I do think that one of the points of the register of interest is that assets can be identified, and I think critically, Gavin, in this case, both properties were fully declared every year.
Now, Stephen Donnelly is correct that both properties were declared every year, and indeed a further property that he later owned in County Offaly. But what wasn't clear from the register is the fact that this was not necessarily an investment property, that he might himself describe himself as an accidental landlord, and that he himself would therefore stand to benefit from exactly the sorts of changes that he was putting to the floor of Dáil Éireann for a vote. Now, we did also put it to Stephen Donnelly that he is required, under the terms of the Ethics and Public Office Act 1995, to explicitly say so on the floor of the Dáil, that he might personally have a material interest in the matter before them, and certainly to make it clear in the Dáil record if he was going to vote on any such matter. That wasn't the case either, but Stephen Donnelly does insist that he has nothing to hide and that it was always on record that he was a landlord in these circumstances. Micheál Martin last night had said that he still had confidence in Stephen Donnelly and that he did not believe that the non-registration of this property with the RTB was a pretty significant matter. We wait to hear from him in Maynooth this lunchtime as to what he makes of this latest development surrounding his Minister for Health.